It looks like the trend of comedians being approached on stage isn't slowing down anytime soon. On Tuesday during the Netflix's Joke Comedy Festival, Dave Chappelle was tackled by a man on stage. According to source, Chappelle was wrapping up his set at the Hollywood Bowl when a man, now identified as Isaiah Lee, according to ABC News, hopped on stage, tackled the comedian, and before running off, was eventually being caught by security. According to reports, Lee was armed with a replica gun that can eject a knife blade. Now, this comes a little over a month after Will Smith stormed the stage at the Oscars to slap Chris Rock in the face. This bizarre incident didn't stop Dave from making jokes about what just happened, as Jamie Foxx and Chris Rock joined Chappelle on stage immediately after. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Vanessa Fraction and Pierre, calling in to give their reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip hop history. I want to rock. Get that out of here. Don't do this on the stage. Get him the out of here. Wait, I gotta see this. It was a trans man. Hey, my man, he's a bitch ass. Get that guy the out of here. We gotta have some fun. Thank God that was clumsy. Hollywood Bowl, you owe me 10 minutes because your security caught me slipping. I grabbed the back of that head. His hair was spongy. Absorbent. I've been doing this 35 years. I just stomped the backstage. Always wanted to do that.
Now, I want to dive right into reactions on this one, Pierre. I'll start with you. What was your first reaction when you saw this clip?
To be honest, I don't know which I was madder about. The dude running on stage, tackling, running into Chappelle, or the fools that had the cameras out, their phones out when they supposed to, man. There's rules and regulations there. That's the reason we do this. We put the cameras away, man. Your phones away. These fools having their cameras out. So, to be honest with you, that was my first reaction. I don't know which one I was mad about, the phone or the damn tackle.
I'll come to you, Vanessa. What was your first reaction when you saw the clip?
I'm not sure. I had a whole bunch of reactions when I saw the clip at first, because they came out in pieces, and now I'm seeing it in its totality. The only thing I'll agree with Pierre on is the fact that if you wouldn't have had your phones out, I probably would have thought different of the situation. It is unfortunate that he tackled Dave Chappelle. I think that was totally out of line. It was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel people have been emboldened because of things that they've seen, but the what do you call the hoopla after was very very concerning is what I'm saying. It was did we check to see if this man had any mental issues, you know? And then why would you say yeah, I had to stomp a motherfucker, I always wanted to do that, bro? That's what security is for. Why were you stomping someone? Now, the little jokes and the way that he reacted, of course, he's funny. Thankfully, the guy was clumsy, you know, that kind of thing. But right. My God, y'all act like y'all eighth graders on the playground. Like, what happened at the swing set and shit? I had to go back there and stomp somebody. No, let the paid people handle that. And you, sir, continue to be a professional and try to handle such a shocking and tremendously alarming situation.
Right, and I want to dive into that because I think, you know, that's a big thing too, you know, right, where we're able to see him react in real time, if you will, being that there were cameras. So Pierre, I want to come to you first. What are your reactions to how Dave responded? Not only his jokes on stage, but, you know, you can actually see him going backstage and then him coming back up to say, like, hey, you know, I went back there to get my licks in, essentially. What are your thoughts or reactions to that, Pierre?
I mean, you know, to me, he played it right. He made a joke out of it. You know, it was a serious situation. It could have been worse. Thank God it wasn't worse. You know what I'm saying? These things will keep moving and catapulting until it becomes somebody with a gun and shoot somebody. Right now, it's somebody yelling from the stage. It's somebody slapping somebody now tackling somebody. It's moving forward. Comedians got to, you know, get ready to protect themselves. You know, because sometimes people get past security. You know, I'm mad at the fool got seats that close. I couldn't get seats that close. Damn it, shit. I'm famous. Fuck, okay. I'm in the 89th row as you're trying to watch that show. So that fool got some expensive seats and, you know, acted a fool with it. But another thing I would say, looking at it too, and I'm sorry, I know you asked the question before, was why did it take so long to yank this fool off the back of the stage? He did it in the right place in Hollywood, where Hollywood is a little more nicer. Had that happened in the hood, they'd have snatched that brother out within 3 seconds outside in the alley and stopped the shit. Now, with Chappelle doing what he did, I don't have a problem with Chappelle getting some licks in. I get it. Legally, it's wrong. You can't, after someone hits you, you can't go chase them down later on. Like, after the moment moved over, you can't do that. But I don't have a problem. He didn't do anything serious. He made a joke of it. I don't think he really got his licks in on him. But if somebody hit me, hit him back. We got to show that this can't be done constantly. This ain't a game, okay? This ain't a game. You come on stage, you need to pay the price, definitely.
Right. Yeah, and I think it definitely adds another layer, hearing that he did have a replica gun on him that could then, eject a knife. So I want to come back to you, Vanessa, because I know you kind of, express your disheartening, seeing that. How would you respond to it, if you're on stage and you're kind of ending the night and suddenly someone comes on stage to attack you? How would you respond to that if this were you, Vanessa?
Got you. Before I respond to how I would respond, I wanted to respond to the question of what I thought about Dave's response and his jokes thereafter, especially after what Pierre said. And yes, it is definitely moving forward in a sense of, now this person has gotten tackled. It was a slap and yelling, you know what I mean? Just different things keep happening. And yes, people do have to protect themselves and so forth. But when it's teaching someone a lesson, if you will, to what end? You know what I'm saying? I know that, of course, we saw stuff in real time. And do I know, to your question, what I would really do? You know what I'm saying? In that moment, I would like to think that I would, continue to conduct and keep the crowd under, keep the crowd under control and allow security to do their job. That's what I would think that I would do. You know what I'm saying? When you're going through that motion, but as Pierre pointed out, once someone has already done the attack, and as he said, he had to grab him when he was attacked, for you to go back and say, no, hold on, that, let me get my licks in, let me teach you a lesson. Now you've turned into now you're assaulting someone. You know what I'm saying? And again, we don't know what was going on with that individual. There is a price to pay for that type of behavior, but to have 30 motherfuckers on somebody, that just seemed a bit excessive, and excessive force is excessive force no matter who's doing it, whether it's the police, whether whom it is. It took 2 people to drag that young man up out of there or whatever. Now, yes, it does give another layer when you have a replica gun that can have a knife and all those different things. But again, that's why you hire trained people to handle things like that and to apprehend that person, not to beat them and make them leave in an ambulance. As if that happens, I'm so sorry, you attack someone, so that's what happens. It doesn't, when you say, make sure this motherfucker leave in an ambulance. Excuse me? All you had to do is detain him, right? So it's very alarming to me. And I don't know, to answer your question, quite what I would have done. Again, I think that I would have allowed security to handle it, and I would have continued to make my jokes as he did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But not, again, inciting violence on someone else. Why would you do that?
Pierre, let me bring you in on that. Putting yourself in this situation and looking at it, especially this isn't, now the first time that we've seen, such a big comedian get attacked on a stage as big as this. So I want to ask you, Pierre, how do you think you would respond if you were Dave Chappelle?
Well, remember, the guy hit Chappelle and ran. So it wasn't like he stood there with them. So, he ran. Now, Chappelle can go run after him if he wants to at the moment. But let's just say I was in a situation where someone hit me or stood there. I would try to beat the dog shit out of him. And I'd hope everyone on my security team would beat the dog. We got to send a message. Like, I understand what Vanessa said. I understand what I just said earlier about, you don't chase after someone and do it. But it needs to stop. It needs to say, you know what? If I get on that stage, all hell might break loose. I might get my jaw broke. I might get stomped to death. And people will consider, you know what? It might not be worth it. Opposed to, let me punch the comedian and then you guys nicely take me out or take me out to authorities. Sounds good. But if you know an ass was coming after you go up on stage, people might think twice about that. Just my perspective,
Right. Absolutely. Now, like I said, this comes, some time after we've seen Will Smith go on stage and slap Chris Rock. Vanessa, I want to come to you. Do you think, this is because of that? Do you think people kind of feel encouraged to take that extra step to go on stage and attack the comedian while they're performing or whatever the case may be because of the incident that we did see at the Oscars?
Yeah, I feel like people are emboldened when they see people live out things that maybe they only thought of. When you see the people that do the school shootings, you know what I mean? If you start noticing that then there's a trend of shootings, and maybe I thought about it, but I saw somebody live it out, as well as suicides, unfortunately. You see people that, you know, say, hey, I went ahead and did that. And then it emboldens people to go ahead and live out maybe their fantasy of whatever that is. And so, yes, I think when you see different situations of people getting attacked, maybe you only thought of it, but you was, you know, but then you saw, hey, Will Smith got up and smacked Chris Rock, or so-and-so attacked Steve Brown in such and such a place, or so-and-so did, you know, this and that. And so it emboldens you to do things that maybe you would only have thought of. And so that's where I do understand what Pierre is saying, and there has to be consequence to your actions, or else what stops you from doing the actions? You know, I mean, I think we may disagree on what those actions are or how to, you know, come across them. But again, when you do crazy shit, you can't always control what happens back to you. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, I do see a trend, and it's unfortunate. And people need to keep an eye out, maybe some preventative measures, especially when you have something that's so upscale, and especially when it's something that people think they can go viral on, if you will. You know what I'm saying? If you're at the Hollywood Bowl, things like that, where are the preventative? And he did kind of jump out of nowhere. I'm not like dogging out security. You can only do so much. And they were, you know, moments behind him. You know what I mean? But you do have to start thinking of, you know what I mean? What measures can we take to be proactive about things like this?
Right, absolutely, and I agree. You know, seeing that nothing happened at the Oscars, but being able to see that something happened here, I think it probably will definitely change people that may, you know, have it in their minds and they want to live it out. But I want to come to you, Pierre, and ask you the same question. Do you feel there's any connection, you know, seeing this happen after what we saw on the Oscar stage between Will Smith and Chris Rock?
Sure, I agree with Vanessa. I mean, people are emboldened into doing stuff now. Social, I mean, you get a camera, you get fame. It's different, you know. Now everyone wants to be a star, and a lot of people want to be a star, and they're willing to do any and everything to be one, to get that attention. Like I was saying earlier, I just think that the punishment should be severe for doing that. It has to stop, you know, or you have to give people consequences. And if one of them is a straight ass whooping, beat down by security, tear your ass up, and then go to legal situation and go to jail or whatever it is, I'm fine with that. But I think you need to feel something when you go up on that stage besides some laughter. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I think that is because folks are doing too much, you know. I don't know. Why can't we disagree? Why can't we agree to disagree? If you don't like something Chappelle does, first of all, don't go to the show. For you to go to the show, if you don't like them, I don't get that part. And even here, you know, I'm fine with the comments. People disagree with me. I get it, you know. I don't feel like y'all listening to what I say sometimes, but y'all pick bits and pieces out. But I ain't mad at you. Speak your voice. Voice your opinion, as I voice my opinion on here. But we don't have to get, you know, violent, physical with stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let's get beyond that. But if it gets to that point, I think at that point of violence or whatever it is, the act or the comedian, whatever it is, needs to make sure at that moment you regret what you just did.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, Pierre, because this is the first time, at least, you know, from what I can see, that we've heard Chris Rock joke about the incident at the Oscars, you know, where afterwards he would take the mic from Dave and kind of say, you know, was that Will Smith? What are your thoughts or reactions to seeing Chris Rock kind of make a joke for the first time, you know, that we know of?
Well, he's a comedian. That's what comedians do. And he's kind of in his safe space. He's around other comedians, so he feels, you know, more comfortable there to tell jokes. Trust me, he's probably said a lot of funny things behind closed doors that we haven't heard from around other comedians at clubs in the corner, you know, since then. He just vocalized it this then, and I have no problem with that. I mean, he's a comedian. That's what he's supposed to do.
Vanessa, I want to ask you that same question. What are your thoughts on, you know, hearing from Chris Rock and actually being able to joke about an incident that happened to him on this stage?
I feel the impulse to want to joke about it, you know what I mean? But if that was Will Smith, would you have been standing there? Would you have been running? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's like, bro, just shut the fuck up, man. You could have left that where it was, or you could have been like, hey, yo, bro, you okay? You know, I know how it feels. You know, anything. Besides, why are you inciting that man's name again when he just asked you to keep his wife's name out? I just don't, I get it. I honestly do. But, you know, you could have kept it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not in a cool kids club, dude. Just go sit your ass down and check on your friend.
Absolutely. Well, this is definitely another crazy incident. I pray as we continue to move forward that people, just like you said, if you don't like a comedian or you don't like an act, just don't come to the show or just stay in your seat. You know, just it's
that part.
It's very simple, and especially to pay for a seat that's that close. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It seems like a waste of money. But before we head out, I do want to talk about what you have coming up, so people like this know where not to show up. So, Vanessa, I'll start with you. What do you have coming up this week? And I know Mother's Day is right around the corner. So,
oh yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. This Sunday I'll be at the new Uptown Comedy Club in Hapeville. They're reopening, and I'll be there with Erica Duchess, super funny lady, as well as T.I. Tip Harris will be hosting that show. So make sure you guys come out.
I'm in Atlanta, in Riverdale, Atlanta, at a club with me and Coco Brown and a couple other great comedians this Sunday. So check it out. And also, I'll be in Shelby, North Carolina, May 28th. Come check me out at the, I don't know what it's called, Oak Park Gymnasium or something, but it's in Shelby, North Carolina. If you're May 28th, come holler at your boy. Or this Sunday in Atlanta, in Riverdale, with me and Coco and Brown and some other people doing the show. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, as always, I appreciate you both for calling and chiming in on this one. I do want to, wish the best for everybody that was involved. I did have the opportunity to meet both Dave and his security guard while they're in Atlanta. Both of them, I felt the most protected I've ever felt. So, as this continues to unfold, I hope that everybody that was involved, is okay and well. And
except the nigga that ran on stage. Damn him.
His arm looked like he not gonna be okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope he don't be. I hope he ain't all right. I don't wish him well.
He didn't look okay.
Yeah, it didn't look okay. But I
good.
For calling and chiming in on this topic. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the new clips that was released of Dave Chappelle being attacked? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
In them comments.